As you can see on the scores, it's 180 to 203 in my favour. Let me just remind you of how the scoring works. It's 5 points for a completely correct scoreline, 1 point for correct result on the star man. Once you pick that man, you can't pick them again for the rest of the season. 5 points for a goal, 2 points for an assist, and let's see what we've all predicted this weekend. Starting off at Newcastle. Newcastle 2, Bournemouth 0 is the prediction from both of us.
Yeah, I think Newcastle are just riding a wave at the moment. I can't see them not winning this game. I know Bournemouth got a really good point away at Chelsea. I think they probably should have lost that game. And again, no Evan Nilsson, no Unal, no striker. How are they going to compete against that real strong backline of Newcastle? Shah might be back for this game as well. Newcastle have really gotten better defensively since Botman's come back. So I think Bournemouth might come up trumps here. I might come unstuck here. And I think Newcastle, with Isaac and Gordon in the form they're in, I think they're just going to win the game.
Yeah, I completely agree. I can't see anything but a Newcastle win, particularly with the injuries that Bournemouth have. I thought they came under increasing pressure from Chelsea that couldn't take advantage. Well, Isaac is going to take advantage against this Bournemouth side. So 2-0 to Newcastle. Next up, we're going to go to the G-Tech. It's Brentford against Liverpool. I've gone for 2-1. Sim's gone for 3-1. I can see a bit of a close encounter here. Liverpool have a few injury problems going into it in the forward line. Jota, I think, has been suffering. I think Diaz as well has been suffering from illness, albeit I think he did train today. Rumours that Darwin Núñez is going to start this game. Salah not on the greatest form over the last couple of games, but I do think they will find the quality and the gaps that Brentford will leave. But I think Brentford can hurt Liverpool going the other way as well. So I think Liverpool will get over the line, 2-1 win.
I think it'll be 3-1. I think Brentford just have too many injuries in the back line. I do think it's been hurting them, those in the back line. And I think Liverpool, the firepower they have will just be too much. And I think Brentford will obviously, with Mbeumo and Wissa, I'm sure they'll cause Liverpool trouble, but I think Liverpool will just be too much. In the end, it'll be 3-1.
Yeah, and I think it is a hard place to go, the G. But Brentford of recent weeks at home, though, they are kind of dropping a lot of points, aren't they?
Yeah, obviously got a good point against City, but they haven't won there now in 3 games, I think.
Is that right? 3 games?
I think Forest.
Is it 3 losses in a row as well?
Arsenal, Forest and City, I think.
Big games, though, isn't it?
Well, City drew against City.
It's their biggest test, though.
Yeah, but this is also another big game.
Yes, yeah, that's what. Yeah, I know. That's why I predicted them to lose. Next up, what are we going to? Leicester against Fulham. We've both gone for the exact same scoreline again in 2-1 to Fulham.
Yeah, I think Leicester against a very clever tactical kind of Fulham side. I think I just can't see them getting over the line and being solid enough to stop Fulham from scoring. I know Fulham actually haven't been in the best form in recent weeks. I think in the last 5 games, 1 win, but it has been 3 draws in there as well. But Leicester is just conceding goals left, right and centre. I don't think Ruud has changed much for them at all, really. I don't think they've become any more solid defensively. I just can see them being opened up. And I think Vardy might get on the score sheet, but I think Fulham will end up winning the game 2-1.
Next up is West Ham again.
No explanation?
Oh, yeah, 2-1 to Fulham. I just think Fulham are the better and more competent team going into the game. I think Leicester, they're just, 6 losses, 5 losses in a row. Need I say more? Fulham and Marco Silva have impressed me so much this season. And with the likes of Iwobi stepping up, you've got Raul Jimenez, who's been really good this season. So I just feel like Fulham just have so much more about them than this Leicester side. So I think they go to the King Power and take the 3 points, 2-1. West Ham against Crystal Palace. Finally, we've got a different result here. Sim's gone for 1-0 to Crystal Palace. I've gone for 2-2 here. I think I do think now with Graham Potter in charge of this West Ham side, yes, they've got a lot of injuries in the front line, but I just feel like with the way that Graham Potter likes to play his football, I think you're going to see a lot of high-scoring games now for West Ham, where they're going to score a lot but concede a lot as well, and I think they're going to leave gaps open, and I think Crystal Palace are the perfect side to exploit that with the threats that they have in the transition and on the counter-attack, and I feel like it's going to be a bit of a ding-dong battle, so I've gone for 2-2.
Yeah, I think 1-0 Palace. I think Palace are in really good form at the moment. They've only 1 defeat in 10. They're not conceding as many goals as they were at the beginning of the season. And I think West Ham, considering the injuries, I just look at the firepower and I do think they'll struggle to break down a very resilient Palace side who can defend really well on their day and have a really strong unit. I know Shalabar's been recalled, which is a massive blow, and you got to feel for him because he's having a great season, and they've just recalled him. And and who knows how much he'll actually play at Chelsea. When they actually left him out of their pre-season talks, they wanted to get rid of him so bad, and now they've recalled him. So I feel bad for him. But I think Palace, unit-wise, is strong enough to go there and get a clean sheet. And I just think those injuries in the front line for West Ham will just hamper them too much. So I've gone for a 1-0 win to Palace here.
All right, Arsenal against Aston Villa. Sim's gone for my classic Arsenal scoreline in 1-1. I've gone for Arsenal just to edge it out in a 2-1 win.
Yeah, I think Villa are going to go there and get a point. I think Arsenal, the front line, I'm just not seeing the quality at the moment. That's really going to take a much better Villa backline than Spurs' current backline is at the moment. And I think they're going to struggle to... We saw what Emery did at the Emirates last season, did a real amazing job on them. And I can see them doing something similar in this game, going to be very resolute. It's going to be hard for Arsenal to break him down. And I think as well, that where with Watkins in really good form at the moment, they could potentially hurt Arsenal with a goal going the other way. And I don't think Arsenal will get more than a goal here. So I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, I've gone for 2-1. I see Arsenal being a real threat from set pieces, obviously, but I think they're going to take the kind of energy and the good feeling that they had around the place in the North London derby into this game, and I think they'll just about nick the game. I think it'll be very tight, don't get me wrong. It could be like 1-1 going into the final minutes, and they'll find some sort of set piece off Gabriel's backside or something like that. But I'm looking at Villa, and yes, their results have turned a little bit, unbeaten in their last 4 and wins in their last 3. But I just feel like whenever they come up against the big sides or, sides on form, they do kind of leave you wanting a bit more and more or less lose or draw the game. I know they beat Man City, but I mean they lost to Newcastle, they lost to Forest recently, they lost to it was the Newcastle game they lost recently. So I feel like in these kind of games it's the games that they're going to drop points in. So I've gone for 2-1 to Arsenal, unfortunately. Moving on to Goodison Park. Tottenham's last ever game at Goodison. Sim has gone for 2-0 to Spurs. I've gone for 1-1 in what, this is the way it usually goes when Spurs go to Goodison. I think Moyes will have them up for it. They'll be smelling blood. Spurs, on the other hand, we're just finding it so hard to just, make our way through games, particularly in the Premier League. And I feel like Everton are going to kind of physically dominate us a little bit, but I feel like we will find a goal. But I feel like Everton will hurt us as well, so 1-1.
I'm just backing Tottenham that we just need to get a win in this game, and I think Everton are really struggling to score goals. And just the way Moyes looked a bit lost after in his interview about how they're going to score without kind of adding quality in certain areas, and I don't see them obviously signing anyone before Sunday. I think he seems to be scratching his head a bit, and I think they're going to really struggle to score goals in this game. I know even against our backline, but I think hopefully. We've had some really difficult games coming up, and this can be a bit of a let-up when it comes to that, and we need to start getting wins on the board. And Moyes obviously got a big job to keep Everton up, but I just feel like in this game they're still going to struggle to score, and Tottenham will dominate, and hopefully an early goal will help just open up Everton a bit more, and we can take the win. So I'm going for 2-0 to Spurs.
Manchester United against Brighton. Sim's gone for 2-1 to Brighton.
Yeah, I think Man United are up against a Brighton. First of all, every year they seem to lose at home to Brighton.
It's true.
Brighton seem to have something over them, but obviously it's a different manager this time. I think Danny Welbeck being back for Brighton is actually really big.
Is he back, yeah?
He came on against Ipswich.
Oh, right, I didn't realise.
And that's actually a really big... I never thought I'd just be saying that, but that's actually a really big player for them, because I think... He's actually physically, he's actually a real big threat in behind, and as well, he's really good at holding up the ball and things like that. Albeit not the best finisher, although he's scoring a lot of goals this season. I think him being back can give them that presence they've really been missing with him being out. I think João Pedro has kind of toiled away up front, and they've really missed his presence. And I think that can go a long way to stretching that backline United. I still think United don't look right under Amorim. I know results recently, they did get the draw against Liverpool, they did get the win against Arsenal, and they just about beat Southampton. So the results on the face of it are definitely turning, but what from myself against Southampton, if they perform similar, I just can't see them beating this Brighton team, and I think Brighton will have more than enough opportunities to score against this United side. So I've gone for a 2-1 win to Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton got their first win since November in the last game out, but they've kind of like been the draw specialists in the league this season, haven't they? And with Man United going into this game with a bit of confidence after the Arsenal-Liverpool and a hat-trick in the last 10 minutes from Amad Diallo, I just feel like there'll be goals at both ends. I think it's going to be a really open game, a good one to watch. Man U will try and make it a bit difficult for Brighton with that 3 at the back, but Brighton will exploit that with Danny Welbeck. Now I know he's in the team, but I think Man United have the tools to hurt Brighton as well, with Amad Diallo being the man of the moment. So I couldn't really split them. I've gone for 2-2 and the draw specialist to get another draw. Next up is Nottingham Forest Southampton. Both of us gone for 2-0 to Forest. I don't think this one needs too much explanation. Forest been brilliant this season, and I think after the Liverpool game, it's pretty much the perfect game for Nottingham Forest to have. I think they'll soak up the pressure that Southampton try and put them, and they'll hit a few goals on the counter attack, and I think Forest will win.
Yeah, I think I can't see Southampton scoring against this resolute Forest side. They're just so well drilled, so well organised. Milenkovic and Murillo, that whole defensive unit really are doing an outstanding job. And Southampton, I know they had their chances against Man United, but Forest won't be that open, and they're not going to give them that chances. And I think Forest are so efficient in the front line. They just keep finding goals from somewhere. Chris Wood just keeps banging them in, and I think they should be able to get goals again in this one. So 2-0 to Forest.
Ipswich against Manchester City again. We've gone for the exact same scoreline in 2-1 to Man City. It's not good for you going through these same scorelines every game. But yeah, I feel like Man City starting to turn a corner a little bit, albeit against Brentford it wasn't the greatest performance, but they did find ways to put the ball in the back of the net. Against an Ipswich side who flattered to deceive last time out, I feel like Man City will win the game 2-1.
Yeah, I think Ipswich will probably be up for it, like they were against home to Chelsea, and they put in a really resolute display. But I just can't see them. I can't see Liam Delap dominating that backline as much as he did against Chelsea, and I can't see them being as resolute against that City front line. With now, I don't know if Kuzanov's going to be available. Is Mamouche going to be available? I don't know if all these players will be available. But
I don't think so.
Either way, with De Bruyne back in the team and Savio's been a lot better in recent weeks, and Foden's now back on form, and all of a sudden, now you're seeing and I didn't even include Haaland. So now you're seeing that they're
fresh off his new 9-year contract.
Yeah, exactly. Unbelievable contract that is. So, I think City should be able to comfortably. Well, I say comfortably. I've only gone for 2-1 because I do think Ipswich are going to put a real fight on, but I can't see them getting over the line. So 2-1 City.
That's the biggest contract in footballing history, I believe. 9 years, 500 grand a week or something.
Mad. I thought they put limits on contracts. Is that just for signings?
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyone who kind of said he's not going to be staying at City for long. Look at that. Unbelievable. That takes him to what? Till he's like 33 or something?
Something like that. I don't know.
He's still so young. It's mad, isn't it?
Was he 24? 23, 24?
Well, he signed at... Yeah, maybe he is 24 now. But still, it's mad. He's going to be golden. How many golden boots do you reckon he's going to get in the next 9 years?
At least 4 or 5.
It's going to be mental.
Yeah, is he breaking Shearer's record?
If he's here for 9 years, I think so. He's already what? What's he on? He's over 100 already or not?
How many seasons has he been here?
This is currently his third, and he got 37 in his first. So not 100 yet, but he got 37.
He got 30 last year or something.
He got 20. I think it was like
27,
26 was it last year, which is already like that's what 70 or something, 60. And so this season he's already what 15.
By next season he'll be on 100.
Crazy. He will definitely break it.
What's Shearer? 260 or
260.
something. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Wolves. Sim's gone for 2-0 to Chelsea. I've gone for 2-2 here. I can see Wolves heaping some more misery on Chelsea. They are creating chances, but they're just not being clinical enough. And I see them getting some goals. But then again, you look at the Wolves attack with Cunha and Strand Larsen, Hwang as well, who's been able to put the ball in the back of the net. I see Wolves hurting Chelsea a little bit here. So I've gone for 2-2.
Oh, for 2-0 Chelsea. I think they'll break their winless run here. I think at home, I know they drew last game to Bournemouth, and they also they drew to Fulham at home, but they should have beaten Bournemouth. They had enough chances, and I think 2 back-to-back 3-0 losses for Wolves, they'll be kind of low on confidence. I'm sure they'll have some chances, but again, I know Cunha came off the bench against Newcastle, so maybe he'll play here, but I think they'll lack the quality to take advantage of it. So I think Chelsea will win here 2-0. Although Palmer might be out, they might have had a few injury doubts, so if that happens, could be different, I guess. But
yeah, I saw those injury problems, and I changed my scoreline from 3-2 to 2-2. I did have 3-2 in the...
Yeah, 2-0. I'm still going for 2-0, even if Palmer's out.
All right, and we move on to the star men. Sim has gone for Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah, home to Southampton. He's in good form.
He's smashing it at the moment, Gibbs-White.
And I think it's a good time for him to get some goals.
Yeah. And I'm going for Lucas Paquetá. I think...
Palace.
Yeah, Palace at home. I know it's one from outside the box, but I just feel like with Graham Potter, I just feel like West Ham will get a few goals, even against the Palace side, who are fairly resolute. But they're at home. I'm not backing them because I don't like West Ham very much. But I do think that it can get a couple of goals, albeit I don't think they're going to win the game. And Paquetá started in the 9 for them, so he's going to be their striker. And obviously he'll be on penalties as well. So if they get a penalty, he'll be the one taking it.
Yeah,
so
so 2-2.
Yeah, and 2-2 as well. So he's a man on form. So there you have it. That is Predict the Prem this week. Let us know who you think is going to come out on top. Let us know your predictions in the comment section below as well.